Hey kids, it's me, Mark Miller. How you doing? And when I said hey kids, my kids just walked in and were like, oh, I thought you said hey kids. So, no.
Hey.
How you doing, Rory?
I'm doing good, my friend. We've reached that point in the year, nearly June, which can only mean one thing around here. We're nearly at a proper British summer. So all the cold weather is gone and all the rain has arrived.
Ah, that's a proper British summer. That's
Apparently.
so cool. I was like, I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'll find out, I think. I got TaleSpire up.
Cool.
Let's see, there it is right there. So we built this tool to kind of hack in to TaleSpire.
Yes.
Has the ability to grab prefabs. And I got a whole bunch of prefabs out here. And I got them named R1 for the different pack I purchased. So I've got R1, R3, and R4. No R2 yet. R1 effects need to get proper names. They don't have those yet. But I got R3 heal right here, which looks pretty cool.
That's nice.
And the same author has got a volumetric blood pack, which I think I showed you. The more I think about it, the more excited I get to see little minis just squirting blood. If we're going to show the healing, then we're going to show the squirting of the blood. I've got edit prefab button right here. We worked on this in like a couple days, almost a week it feels like. Come in here, let's go grab the same one, heal. There it is, R3 heal. I just want to see what we can modify because we've had some problems in here in terms of being able to modify these. By the way, when we bring this up, I think it brings it and puts it in over out here at 0, 0. There it is right there.
Oh, yeah. So the experimental instance, so to speak.
Right. So this is at 0, 0, 0 in the three-dimensional space.
Yeah.
And so let's see what we can do here. Can we see what this guy is? Particles heal. Which is this going to be? Let's take the X and move it to 10. And I think all I need to do is just do that. Okay, it was the other.
The upward floating, I guess, bluish white.
Right.
Streaks. Yeah.
So this must be it. I should have read the name, Particles Heal Plus. Move this over at 10. And although I'm not seeing it, do I have to move away?
That seems to have had much the same effect. As in, the original streaks are now.
Yeah.
Missed.
Let's go look at this again. Local position. Let's see what happens when I come in here. There we go. I wonder if there was maybe a bug there or something. I'm not sure. Clicking from here to here may not have refreshed that. That might be in my code. Okay, so there's our Heals Plus right there. Let's bring it back. Put it back over where it belongs. Let's do the same thing with the particle heals. Do the same thing there. All right. Now let's see if we can change the color of these pluses. That would be nice. So particle system is here. We wrote something last time to disable anything that we weren't using. So which is cool because now at a glance we can see, oh, we are using color over lifetime, but not using color by speed.
And this was because internal to each of those nodes is an enabled flag, and it's a bit of pain just to have to open it up to discover it's disabled.
Yeah.
So, we grab that information, we present it in a more viable fashion.
Yeah.
And this
Now,
is for end user experience, but for us it's just saving us time, which is even more good for the system, so to speak.
yeah, exactly. What's interesting about this is it goes from white to white. Now, we're not really showing what the alphas are on this. For me, when I set this up, I made it so it was just a simple gradient going up from 100% to 100%. What that indicates to me is that color tinting is happening elsewhere. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to know where that is yet. But I think there's a renderer in here. There's a mission. Let's take a look at a mission. Great. What happens if I do this? I don't think anything. And I don't have an enum viewer yet, I think. I think this is an enum mode. And so I don't have an enum viewer yet, which is something we might want to do. Wait, rate multiplier. There we go. Nice.
Well, that certainly works.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, we should just kind of talk about our to-do for this right here. Do I already have, yeah, TaleSpire modular effects. Let's open this up. So one of the things that I haven't done yet, a new slide here, call this to-do. One of the things I want to do is I want to be able to store property mods with the, in the tree. Okay, so when I modify this to a 5 or a 50 or whatever, I want somewhere around here a property mod, maybe in the tree, to appear.
Okay.
That's what I think I want. And when I click on it, then it can say something like, you know, emission module dot rate mod multiplier dot 5 or something like that. Well, this is emission module dot rate multiplier. I'm wondering if we should instead change that to say the name of the type. Maybe. All right. Still looking to change that color, and I thought there was like a rendering piece of this. Interesting, I don't see it. I wonder. Oh, it must be in Particle System Renderer. Okay. Let's bring this up. I'm wondering, I'm looking for material is what I was looking for. I'm wondering if there's a material that's used. Or like an image bitmap or something like that. Like here. So we've got materials and we've got a material. And a color property on the material. But all RGB is all 0. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, Rory, right? It's sometimes not intuitive. Well, it's often incredibly unintuitive in terms of where is it getting its color from, right? Shader. Hard to tell. If I open the same effect up inside of Unity, this is an R3, so this one right here. We might try that question there because they do have a material editor and picker. We might try to bring that one out into a new scene and see what we can do. Close that down. Close down my build settings. Even close that down. Okay, there it is right there. Prefabs, auras, R3 heal. There it is right there. And I guess we got to jump into it. Particles heal plus. Okay, cool. We can see them. Being able to see them is awesome. There you go. Color over lifetime. Yeah, it's exactly like I said. It's that. So, you know, I'm not quite sure. Do I want to build a gradient editor? Like, do you know what I mean, Rory? I'm like, maybe. I think the renderer material.
Some of them won't. So they'll be, you know, you're bringing different effects, and they'll use different methods of changing all of their colors. So potentially, you're going to have to build editors for each and every one of them.
When you say every one of them, every one of what?
Well, this is
all of
doing
these-
color over lifetime. So,
Yeah.
and you know that that's being used. But
Yes.
you can see it with this UI, I guess. But is that because, I mean, because we get this as an effect, right? But it could be a composite effect already. You know, they built it out of other things, and there's no telling what other things they built it out of. So, you know, maybe the object has a base color, but it also has a color over lifetime, and has a color X and color Y and color any number of things. And it's all about knowing which ones are in use and in what combination, and can we build editors that sort of facilitate all of these? I guess ultimately it comes down to a gradient is just a color picker with two colors, is it?
Yeah. I think we may have found it while you were talking. Did you notice this? I got heel texture over here, tint color, I mean, in the heel texture. So if I'm here and I go to materials, main texture, I open that up, do I see a tint color? I don't see a tint color. Heel material, main texture. Is it not main texture? It may not be main texture. Let's go back over here. Particle system. Material. It's in the renderer and it's just called material.
Okay.
Not texture. No, wait, it is material right there.
Right,
So
yeah.
there.
So now it's one called heel texture specifically. So is there a texture list that you can index by name?
Yeah, I don't have anything like that yet, but we might add that. Maybe we come in here and we say, okay, material, and we have a material picker is what we add. Maybe that's what we work on today. That might be interesting. And then we can go to so the heel texture, what's interesting is if I go into material, I see color, but I don't see tint color.
No, and actually you see far fewer things than we apparently have in front of us there.
Yeah, yes, I would agree with that. We do see far fewer things. And I wonder if it's because of if we change the shader, does it change what shows up down here? It does. It's the shader. These are properties of the shader, I think.
Okay. That's interesting because you're going to have to get the value of the shader in that moment. I'm presuming that this comes set up with the right shader in place. Modified it back again. So we have a shader property.
Yeah, let's see if we do. So we're in material shader. I do.
Uh-huh.
But
It doesn't seem to have.
it doesn't seem to know what type it is. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to have the piece that I really want.
Well, this is interesting because theoretically what you've got there is a shader property that has a type of, let's say, just shader, right? Generic shader. And you can allocate to the generic shader property any kind of specialized shader that you like. And if you're casting to the type of the property, you won't see any of those extended facilities. You need to know the value, or sorry, the type of the value in the property before you can then extend and get those sub-properties. That was a good sentence.
Well, I think that what I'm confused by is the code should already be doing this. In other words, no matter what the instance is, it's going to call get type on it. It should know what its type is, and it should be able to get these other pieces out. I'm wondering if these are not actually properties in the way we understand them for
Maybe.
shaders. And that's
Where
why
are you
we're not seeing them.
Get
What?
properties.
What'd you say?
You said so we sort of drill in through reflection and we get as far as the shader property. Okay, when we get a type, are we getting a type of the property or of the value in the property?
Of the value in the property.
Okay,
That
so
should totally
yes.
be the case. What'd you say?
Yeah. I agree. Then that should work. That doesn't seem to be making a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's also interesting too that the change, this is kind of an interesting thing in that if I want to change, well, if I have this aspect here to mess with. I can work with that, right? Tint color. How do I get to tint color in code is kind of the other question. I suppose we could throw a
Between
what?
the screen and the inspector, the only thing that is in common between the two is the render queue. So that's a property in the list and in our tree. But it's the only one that I could see that was in common.
Oh, this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a great deal of help, but...
I'd love to be able to modify it, is what I'd love to be able to do. Let's see if we can get it in code. I want to just create a real quick C# script here. Texture Explorer, I guess. And do I want to drag this onto, I think I want to drag it onto Heal. This is the prefab. Nope, that's a texture 2D. Heal texture, so it's this guy. I wonder if I can drag it up onto him. I can. Okay, cool. And then now, yeah, I am, baby. What's up? Okay. I'm just quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some of your chocolate.
That's not okay.
It's my chocolate.
No, there's only one left.
50% of it's mine.
No, I don't like that. This is, now you just turned this into a sad show. You know, I can't really get to these by name. I wonder if I can, let's, bug.log. Let's, maybe we could even get this running. This would be very cool. Texture Explorer dot start like that. Let's see how, let's see what our luck is here on the on this. If we just come in and we say play the game. Yep, I see it right down the bottom left. Texture Explorer.start. Sweet. So that's good. Next, let's see if we can get this Particle Heal Plus child component. And I'm not...
So they do some explorative coding, some investigative stuff from within Unity, seeing how the pieces are physically connected.
Right, that's what I want to do. And once I get it, then I just think it's going to be easier. Get component. Do I have one that takes a name is my question. Just a string as a type. Okay. Well, what is it? Isn't it? Don't we have two of these? Particle Heal Plus. Looks like it's a game object. I think that means it's a game object. It has a particle system on it, but it's called Particle Heal Plus. So maybe it's not Get Component. Maybe it's something called Get Child. Get Component in Children. All right, let's try something different. Let's try a different approach. Let's say get components in children, like that, and we're going to ask for a particle system. So we're going to look at get all the particle systems inside of here, which means we should get this one right here, at the very least. Just looking at this name, I don't think this is the name of the particle system. Maybe it is. Let's see what we get back from that. And then we're going to do a for each on that. And then we're going to say particle system dot. Do I have a name? I do. All right. All right, let's see what that does. Let's go to our console, clear it, and run. Don't maximize on play. Go. Yeah, it's right there. Particles heal plus. Sweet.
Did I also can't quite see the particles heal and the particles distortion as well?
Yeah, they're right there and there.
Those three things is a particle system. It's derived from that. They are different varieties. I'm assuming that their types are particles heal, particles distortion, and particles heal plus. Because we were suspecting before that we could only have a single component of a single type as a child of a thing.
No, as a component, but these are different game objects here.
Oh, okay.
And so what we're doing though is we're getting the components here. When our call to get components in children is returning those components. If we want to get the actual game object, we have to go to particle system dot transform dot game object and dot name, and that these, my contention is this will match this. That's kind of what's going on there. But here's the deal. The thing is what we're trying to do is through code change the color of these to like red or something like that. And so we can now find this guy. Then we need to get to the renderer. The thing that we've learned that's really kind of interesting is the renderer shows up as just a property here of the particle system. But in our Explorer, it shows up as its own separate attached component, particle system renderer, right? So what we should probably do, well, I don't know. I'm not sure if the particle system will have a property, a link to its renderer. It probably does. Let's see if it does. So let's see. Let's first get the one we want. If particle system.name is equal to that, then we found it. Then I want to say, hey, do you have a renderer? Nope, no renderer. So now, go ahead.
Well, is because it's a particle system rather than we've cast it to particles heal plus, which might have its own renderer. I mean, to be fair, I would have expected any particle system to have a renderer. It's not really something you'd expect specific to just...
Yeah, it's not. It's a component. I think it's a component of the... I mean, based on what we're seeing here, it's a component, right? The syntax that I have here is if it's a component, it puts it in angle brackets. So it's a component of this game object. And so what I'm doing now is I'm changing it. We'll just...
out into the component bag and go get a different component. So the particle system doesn't have to have a property for particle system renderer. It just knows, I'm going to go and get one, and here it is.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't even worry about it, that some other part of the engine takes care of it. I'm going to start this up and run this now. Let's clear this up right here. Run it one more time. I'm now spitting out the names of the particle system renderers, and it looks like they are also similarly named. So that's good to know. All right. So now what I want to do, it could be too, it's interesting. This name property might actually be redirecting to this.
Yeah.
It might be. At any rate, that's how I do it, I think. So at this point, we want to do this. We want to say, hey, if particle system dot name is equal to that, then we're still good. And now we're in a renderer. Let me rename this to renderer. All right, so now that we've got the renderer, we next need to go to the material. Or at least we can do this. So we can do a debug log. I don't have a debug log template yet. Material found. Let's do that. Just going to do it a step at a time here. Okay. Don't think I need this anymore. All right, let's run it. So we're looking for material found right there. Okay, cool. So we found the material. So now here's where we are. We're here. We've just found heel texture. Let's see if we can get some detailed data on that material. Like, what's its name? I bet it's got a name, and I bet it's what we're expecting. Dot name. I've got new technology on my machine, Rory.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to do something right now with it. Give you a preview of where we're going.
This is where the real custom stuff is.
All right, so here we go. Let's do this. Let's create a new folder. And let's create a new template in here. And I'm just going to give it a big name, like escaped quote. That, I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. And in here, we're going to expand it to that. I'm not going to give any context because it's got such a big name. We're going to invoke this from another location. We'll go ahead and apply that. Let's go over into shortcuts. And come over here. Create a new shortcut. And we're going to say, what was it, template expand, and the parameters are going to be escape quote. Go. So now, if I type in that, nice.
Very good.
Much better. It was such a pain in the butt to do before. That's not bad. It's really not bad at all. I love it. Okay, good. All right, so there's my material. Hector HSC is out there. Hey, Hector. Sorry I missed your hi there. Welcome.
Nice of you.
All right, and so we're going to see if we can get the name out. Let's just do that real simple test there and see how we do. Go. Heel texture. It's got a bigger name. Instance. Ooh. Heel texture instance, I think could mean that it's like a clone. Does that mean it's like a clone or not? Because when they clone game objects, they add the word clone to them. Instance is interesting. Okay, so at any rate, that's the heel texture. Now that we've got the heel texture, we want to try and figure out we want to get its shader, I think is what we want to get. Right? We're here, and we want to get the shader.
Yep.
Okay. So, what do we got? Shader. It's not null. Then we're going to say we found the shader. Shader. And let's also include
We're going to need the name of that shader though, right?
Yeah, hold on though. I got rabbit holes I got to jump into. All right. Let's create a new one here. Call this braces in quotes. I think maybe something like that. Braces in
Braces. Follow your previous pattern.
What'd you say?
Are you planning to escape it?
I'm not going to escape it. I just want to be able to put them both in and make it easier, faster to do that. And so I'm just going to go like this. What? Why is nothing? My braces aren't actually, I can't type in braces here. What is that going on with that? I'm holding shift plus. Interesting. All right, let's mark the issue.
Any chance that's a conflict with the aforementioned technology?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there is. All right, guys, I'm trying to type in the open brace key and the close brace key. Nothing's happening there. I can do these. I just can't get the braces. Here. Kind of interesting. All right. Guess I'll copy them from the clipboard here. That's what I'm trying to get. Right there.
Look at that, Mark. On screen, that line you've just copied.
Oh my gosh.
Where the braces were going.
Is that us? I almost bet it's us. Braces. Formatting braces, no. Smart keys. Enable smart dot. Smart semicolon inside braces, no. Smart keys, smart keys. It's not us?
It's interesting because despite having the options up, the main window was effectively tripping and keeping the braces, not the other keys.
Yeah. Is it?
There's a additional pipeline almost of where the data goes.
Yeah, I wonder if, so if we go back to the templates here, if we go back to the code templates page, I'm sure it's reproducible now. So we'll watch it over here as I hit the brace. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so reproducible. What happens if we put it outside of the string and we try it? Is it going to be the same or different? Code Rush, Code Templates. I don't think it's us anymore. We used to have a feature that would kind of autocomplete, but then Visual Studio added this. Yeah, look at that. We had to be in a string. Okay, hold on. Wait. There's still a possibility.
Is it a string where previous escaped quotes exist?
No, I don't think that's related to it. I think that's too specific. I think it's just a string. Well, let's answer the question. Here, we'll put it here. And right there. So open brace. What? It really does seem to be what you're saying. Oh, no, wait. It's not that. It's that it's an interpolated string is what it looks like. But let's look inside of IDE shortcuts. Do we have anything in here? Search for that. Nope.
Doesn't look like that.
Nothing. Duplicate line. It's got shift enter in it. This is a bunch of different keystrokes, but not finding that key. I was just finding it in the context. All right. That doesn't look like it's us. Okay. Well, let's have the devs look at it. So I've marked it. So here's the problem. The problem is that if we're inside an interpolated string and we hit the braces, some weird stuff's happening. That's what's going on over there. At the very least, say that. Also, as long as we're here on this has been something that's been that I've seen before. So if I do the open, it does the close and puts the caret outside. Is this Visual Studio? I don't think this is us. I don't like it at all. I want the caret to be here if I'm in an interpolated string. So I can hit open and then close, and I get this. This is what I typically get. So I go left, and then I'm like, what? And I have to delete. It's all a mess, is what it is. That's the issue. Let's report that, and then we'll go on to what we were doing before. Braces in interpolated strings, check. Also hijack, they hijack the template editor. Okay. All right. Let's go back to what I was doing, which was creating a better version of the braces solution right here. Braces in quotes. Like that. So now we want to have brace, and we will put the caret right there. And I think that's all we need. And do I want to bind this, or do I want to, do we have, all right, here's what I want to know. Do we have a context that says in interpolated string? That's what I want. So check this out. If I'm in an interpolated string, I want to make the shortcut just be Shift plus the open brace key for me. The command is going to be template expand, and the parameters are going to be braces in quotes. Let's see how bad or good that is. So I'm going to hit the shift, the brace. Okay, not bad, but the caret's not in the middle.
No.
I'm pretty sure I said put the caret there. If I stuck a field here too. That's weird.
I had some issues with that the other night. I felt that should be working as well. Eventually I stuck a block quote and a caret around a field.
I'm wondering if it's because I'm hitting a different key to expand it, that there's something about hitting that different key. Field like, hey, like this. Just throw a block caret, let's do the block anchor over there. So we can get any better situations here. Go.
Huh, that's...
It doesn't feel like it's working at all.
No.
Well, let's try this. Wait, let's do this.
And to take the condition off the context and see does it work in a normal string, for example. That works too. Yes. Or the big arrow that says this is definitely the expansion.
It's not working.
Else entirely, isn't it? That's catching on there.
Yeah, something else is happening here. Let's go to shortcuts. Mark's custom. Where are you? Look at this one though. I wonder if this one is the piece Shift plus the open bracket. We searched for the open bracket, but we didn't find it. Let's mark that as an issue as well. Hey kids, we were looking for an open bracket binding earlier and we didn't see it. I'm pretty sure I hit the open bracket in here. And, oh, I see it now.
I think we were looking for the curly brace.
I did Shift plus that, and it didn't find it. That's what it was. I see. Okay, so I should have done Shift plus. All right, so I'm not going to report this as an issue. Okay. Let's try disabling this. And let's do this. And let's do it now.
So it's a selection embedding that's kicking off. Despite
yeah.
the selection.
It's selection embedding that's kicking off. You're right. It is. So this is kind of a response to the last piece that we were looking at. Let's go into shortcuts. This guy. The context on this guy. Now this is in my custom, I think. It's in Mark's custom.
Okay.
I need to enhance the context of this. Okay, so I think you're going to be sending out an email in response to the last one that went out. It's going to say something to the effect of ignore Mark needed to adjust the context. I want to change selection
sent this one yet. The previous one you sent was the hijacking the template editor, and that's still legitimate, right?
It might be. It might be related to, if they can't duplicate, it could be that this is, yeah, I have a feeling we're about to find out. I'm going to change the selection to multiple lines. So in order for this to work, we have to have multiple lines selected for this shortcut to work. Also,
oh, I see.
Wait, did I just totally replace the context? Hold on a second. Let me go back. I'd cancel on that. What'd you say, Rory? What were you saying?
I was thinking, I can see where you're going with this. So what you kind of need is, we can do it experimentally in many ways, but not just that there's a selection, but more importantly, that the editor has focus.
Yeah. I need to make both of those, and that's kind of where I'm going with on this. Selection is multiple lines, and editor is focus. Code editor is focus. Now.
So now we should be able to place the caret inside the interpolated string, go mess with the template, and try not do anything.
Yeah.
Or at least it should render correctly in the option dialog.
Yeah. So let's go see what happens. We still might have a slight problem in that the other one doesn't have a context that says the editor has to have focus. Let's do that. Okay, so what's interesting is if I do multiples of these and I hit shift brace, it just simply replaces it with the begin and end braces. What was going on with that? Selection. Mark's custom. Well, this guy's not running anymore because he's not enabled. So that's just maybe Visual Studio. Maybe we're fighting with Visual Studio. Let's enable it now.
Now we've got our original template is working, right? Except we're replacing the text that's selected. So we want to have a template expand when you've not got anything selected.
Yeah, I'm just searching for. I'm trying to get a sense of this guy working right here. I saw a problem the other day, and it could be in my build when I had it wasn't code editor focus was always returning false.
Oh, I see.
Let's see what happens now. No, it's just replacing it. Let's look at it carefully. Selection embed braces.
That says in a string and you're not.
Yeah. And it's also an interpolated string.
So when you highlight multiple lines and you trigger the brace, this does not qualify because you're not in a string. Okay, so it moves on to the next one, and you are not in an interpolated string, funnily enough. Yeah,
what I want to do is change the, I want to change it to just a selection exists, I think. Selection line fragment. Let's change it to that. Oh, geez, really? Okay, I'm starting to understand what this is for. This is so that I can select something that doesn't have braces around it, like this, come in there, and do the braces around it. Cool.
Yes, makes a lot of sense.
Now I understand. Now if I hit the open brace, okay, now then our other template piece is kicking out, which is good. Let's go fix that, and we probably don't need all of this anymore.
Sure, maybe just the caret now.
yeah, maybe everything starts to work again like we're expecting it to work. This is going to be, I'm going to hit, did I bind it to anything yet? Did I bind it to that?
I think it was the open paren, the brace.
Yes, you're right. It was the brace. And I think that's it. That's our template.
That's what you wanted, yeah. Now, we can do a little test now that you've fixed both of those, and we can be inside the interpolated string and try to type a brace within the template editor. And it works. And your previous premonition about please ignore the email is, I think, absolutely correct.
All right, ignore the email. That was my experimental elements interfering. Okay, good. All right, so good. Now I've added more experimental elements to interfere. Back to what we were doing. Shader, getting the shader, and I want to get the type of it as well. And I'll put that in parentheses right here. We're going to say, we'll just put it right here as particles system renderer dot material dot shader dot get type. I think this is going to come back as shader. I think it's going to come back. I don't think this will be helpful as my current premonition. Let's see how well it works. Clear that. Run. Yeah. So, not helpful as expected. It's a shader. How do we get these properties on a shader? That's my new question I want to ask the world. Let's see what we got. What's the world say to us? C#, Unity, change properties on a shader at runtime. Look at this. See that?
Yeah.
There's a, I bet you that's all we need to figure this out. I think there's something called properties on the shader. There's no get properties? Oh, you guys. Fine. Fine. All right, let's do this. Let's do get property name of I. Let's do debug log down here and interpolated string. Property name, and let's get its type. Do I have a get property type? I do. Property index. And that's a shader property type. That's not comfortable to me. It's an enum. Pretty sure. Is that right? Shader property type. What the heck is that going to give us back? Shader property. I need something here. Property type. Oh, bad news. Oh no, wait, maybe not. It's not here, but it is here. I mean, sorry, it's in both. But I don't want to use Unity Editor because that's a DLL for Unity, the Unity Editor. But if I can get it here, is that the one or not? Let's see if we can drill into this. Drill into this. Where are you located? Where are you hiding? In Unity Engine.rendering. Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, that's not too bad. We can deal with that. That means we have just simple property editors here. In fact, we already have essentially a property editor for these two.
Yeah.
And this one we've got a bigger version that contains a color, so it wouldn't be hard to add a color property editor as well. Okay, so let's do that. Are we just going to get numbers coming out of here? There it is, though.
Values, that's good, yeah.
Okay. So what that I think means is if we get to here, and then we get to, where is it? Material, right? Particle system renderer. Not trail material. I think I'm going to have to sort these. Make it easier to find these pieces here. Material. Shader. Once I get here, I can create a shader property editor that then essentially grabs the properties and their names.
Yep.
See where I'm going with this? And their types. Or maybe do that as the children of it. Maybe I do it as the children. So I create the child nodes of the shader as additional nodes right in here, like properties that we can change.
Yep.
It's a little tricky. Support shader property mods. It's a little tricky. It's tricky because our mod path is going to get weird.
Yeah.
Right now, we support a little bit of weirdness. We support property paths like meisterlist.count, something like that.
Yep.
Hey, look who's here. And we support. No. I'm trying to draw right back there. Oh. It's putting shell.
Hey, Puddin'. How you doing?
How you doing, Pudding? And we support child components. Murky, look who's here. Yeah, right, Chokes. Yeah. We support child components like particle system.
Indeed.
In quotes. Dot. Something. Color over lifetime. Or something like that. Emission dot rate, something along those lines. So I will stab the goo. So I'm not happy about you being here either, you ugly goo. Wow, Jesus, Fred. So it's going to get weird. We haven't seen this one on this show. That could be none other than Oculomelis. Welcome, all you Oculomelis. Why aren't you at Build? What are you doing watching our show?
We didn't expect, audience this time.
Jetsam, that was creepy. Yeah, Oculomelis is creepy. His fanfare is creepy, is what I meant to say. Jetsam is out here. Welcome, everyone. What'd you say? Roy?
They're multitasking. I assume build on one monitor, us on the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, more people in the chat room than just the 3 right here. I don't know what's going on with that, but all right, so it's going to get weird. The mod path is going to get weird. Listening to build on you at the same time. It's a talent. All right, excellent. Yeah, I was just looking through the new features coming out, and I was looking at the Visual Studio 2022 roadmap, and I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, there's a code-rich feature. Cross that off our list. There's another code-rich feature. Cross it off our list. They're going to add camel case nav. And probably selection as well if they do it right. So, which is cool. I mean, it's something we invented, and it's been around for like a decade plus, I think.
A number of years at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, it's had a great shelf life.
Remember, everybody stole our color picker idea.
Yeah, that's true as well, right? They did. They keep adding new features, making you obsolete. Well, Ocular Malice, we keep adding new features as well, so we kind of make ourselves unobsolete again, right back again. And we do that. So the mod path is going to get weird. It's going to get weird, and unraveling it is going to be tricky because these aren't actual properties.
No. They're kind of specialized instructions to go do things. Go get things in a clever way.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, is what the syntax for the components is, right?
Yeah, so we'll have to figure this out, and I'm not sure. I'm wondering if we create a new syntax for this. Something like particle system renderer. It would look like this. Particle system renderer dot material dot shader, and then would I do this? Tint color, maybe? Shader properties are just properties on the material. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Ocular Malice is an expert in Unity compared to us.
Where were you when we needed you? We've been having all sorts of fun trying to spelunk through this.
Yeah, so let me show you what we're trying to do. You might actually have a sense of what we're going to try to do, if it's going to work or not. Material is what exposes you access to the shader. Right. Yeah. They're properties on the material. Oh, really? Well, I was going in and calling get property. Here's what I was doing. I was calling get property count on shader and getting then its property type is what I was doing. Its name and property type. And I was spitting that out in what we were running, and it was coming back with tint color, which is what I'm looking for ultimately. Color strength, main text, and in fade, which corresponds to what? Color strength is there. Main text, I don't see that. Texture. And in fade. I don't see that up here either. But this, basically these properties are what happens when I go to the heel texture, grab its shader, and then make this call to get property count and iterate through the properties to spit that data out. What's interesting is that I get pretty much a main text in the shader is probably particle texture in your material. Yeah, what's interesting is look at this tint color. Cool, I see that. It corresponds to it. Color strength, look at the S is lowercase here and uppercase here. So must be getting its name from another place. Main text completely doesn't match particle texture right there. Yeah. And INV fade is not sure where that is. It must be maybe this soft particles factor. I'm not sure. The goal is I want to create this effect live, change its tint color live. My question is if heel texture is used anywhere else, will its color also change there? And I think it will. Yeah, and the shader it has its own language and parameters, but they all line up with the material. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, because that's what's going on and so the question is, where is this stored? And so I think the restriction I'm going to have, Rory, is that if I have a reference to heal texture in more than one effect at once, any changes to one will impact all the others. I think I'm not going to be able to individually modify.
Somewhat makes sense because you get given a texture, and the whole reason a texture exists is so that it can be used ideally in more than one place, because more than one thing will want to take advantage of that. Thus, if you change it, you're not making a new texture or altering just that one instance, you're potentially altering everything that uses it.
Now Ocular Malice says something really, really interesting. Ocular Malice says, hold on, I want to bring up...
Your lit up item in your console corresponds very interestingly with that comment.
Right, that's what I wanted to talk about. He says, if you change the material tint, it'll change in all instances of the material, except in a few special cases where materials are instances, but that's rare. What's interesting is the name of this material is Heal Texture Instance.
Did we just find that?
Yeah, yeah, hard to tell for sure. You know what we could do? We're really close to being able to change this in the code. We could just create two of these out here on the, I've got one here, and create another one right next to it, and see what happens. Let's duplicate this, and there's my duplicate of it, and then we'll go back to the code.
Now, when we need to physically move these apart somewhat so we can tell.
Hold on. Yes, we'll move them apart, but also, I want to take the script off of one, but not the other. So this one, I'm going to turn off the Texture Explorer. That's our script that we're using. And this one has it on. Okay. So this one on the left is the one that has it on. All right. The one on the left has it on. The one on the right does not. Okay, we're getting almost there to the point where we can modify this. So we want to now go to, okay, hey, if shader dot get property name is equal to tint color. So what did we say that it was called? Yeah, right there. Then we know the type of it. And if that's the case, maybe there's a way to set its property value. Shader.set. Uh-oh. I can't set the property value. All right, let's go back over and look at, do we have any assistance here? Change shader property runtime. Yeah. So you're modding a material, you have two different materials, only one will change. If you modify the shader, then both will change. So I should be maybe looking at this through the material then instead of the shader. Is that right? Let's see. Material's got a set color. Ooh. Look at that. Is it as simple as that? Let's just all the way up here at material, we can say renderer, particles renderer material dot set color.
Right.
I think this.
Phil, now that's why we didn't see it, because when we look through the tree that you're building, we don't see method calls, we don't see setters, we see properties.
Yes, and let's see what that does. Particle heal plus, so it's only going to do it on the one, and let's run it and see what happens. It looks like that worked.
Yeah.
I'm too far away from it. There you go.
There you go. One is very much the red pluses, one is very much the, I guess, slightly translucent blue.
Okay. That's super cool.
That is good, right. That is a lot simpler.
Okay, so now, though, in order to get to material, does material have a get properties thing on it? It does not. Wait, no, wait. Get texture property names. That's not quite the same, I think. Can't set shader values at runtime since they're precompiled. You have to use material, which is the interface to the shader of the value it uses. Beautiful, Ocular Malice. That's what I'm talking about.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
Yes, you are very useful. Thank you very much, Ocular Malice.
Holofox is out there. Hey, Holofox, welcome. Glad you're with us. Okay, so this is super interesting now. It gets even weirder now, because now if we're talking about, having some sort of like JSON, JSON storage of the properties we want to modify, and modification happens through the material.
And more specifically, not through a property on the material, but through a method on the material.
Yeah, which is based on the type, I'm sure. So, we've got, for example, that right there.
Yes, Holofox, we are using Bethanyx to inject. Absolutely.
We are. Here's where we are. So I'll show you some eye candy here for a little bit. We're inside of TaleSpire right here. Let's go back over to the ground we were on. Where are you, ground? Wait, why am I not seeing the ground? It's never a good sign.
We were some distance from it when we came back out to this, but...
Yeah, no, it looks like it's completely gone. Did I just do that? Did I somehow break it? It's not good. Is it over here?
Holofox says, I've been building a modding community for TaleSpire. Would love to invite you guys to it.
We're welcome to, Holofox. I've seen you out on the I've seen you out on the TaleSpire Discord, Holofox. Thanks so much. The problem is that I'm doing some crazy stuff, and I don't want everybody to see it, because then if they see it, they're going to be like, I want that too. And then, it's kind of a nightmare then. Also, what I'm doing is not easily... let's close this down a second. Let's go over here. This guy. It's not easily transferable. That's what's going on here.
Let's put Ocular Malice in the picture here. So TaleSpire is what Mark is going to use to add a little depth to the Dungeons and Dragons show that he runs on Dragon Humper's channel. At the moment, we've got all kinds of on-screen fancy stuff that we run, and the system itself understands a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons rules, and it means that the Dungeon Master who runs the show doesn't really need to do anywhere near as much as you would normally. Plus, we get a whole bunch of special effects. So now when we throw TaleSpire into the mix, we have this facility to place our characters, build an environment for them to play through, and all the rest of it. But now we kind of want to call back and use our own engine to determine when somebody casts a spell, and where are they targeting and who are they targeting. So we've built a few things to us to inject actual prefabs into the system by virtue of Bethanyx. And what we're now able to do, as you can see on screen, Mark's casting spells and overlaying effects within that environment. So it's so much more realistic. The whole 3D immersive thing becomes really quite good. And we've got a whole drop-down list of sort of effects, so you can fire things from point A to point B, surround people with various effects, calculate distances between the characters. We've certainly got that facility already. So we ask the engine, where is this character? And in an area of effect for a spell, you can literally have the effect emerge on all the people who happen to be within that distance. So there's a lot we could potentially do with this.
Yeah, we're playing with this targeting mechanism as well, because we have a separate standalone D&D engine that we've been building that has rules for spells and area of effects and understands those kinds of things, targeting rules, that sort of thing. So we're bringing this, kind of moving this so that we can integrate it all with a live show. But I've intentionally kept it secret from the folks out there in the internal mods folk area, because I think there'll be demand, and I have no way to support the demand, no way to get this out there. And it really, really is more for, it's really more suited for a live broadcast that I'm setting up, and for integration with our engine. So that's kind of what we're doing, what we're going for. But there's some cool stuff here, right? And we're just trying to work so that we can modify. We're trying to get to a point now, once we get the assets in, that we can modify them very quickly. And so I'm building this edit prefab engine over here so we can come in and modify things like colors and things like that. So we can come in here and create a bunch of different spell effects, hook them back into our database of spells so that when we cast a spell, it actually, you see it, the effects of it. That's kind of what we're going for. So, I don't know. That's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Okay. So that's kind of where we are. I think what we need to do, Rory, is get to this next stage and actually support this.
Yes.
There's a material.set color. That means there's probably also material.set range, I bet.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can. Let's see what. What'd you say?
I said, let's see what we can find. There'll be a.
Yeah, there you go. There's a set float. There's material dot set color. We did that. Set pass. We don't need that. Set texture. We're probably not going to use. Well, I don't know. I say that now. And is it just those three? What was the get property type? Had what values associated with it? Color, vector, and range are the two we're missing. Vector and range.
Yeah.
Set. Is there a vector? Sweet. I love it. And then material dot.
So perhaps it's there, but just not a favorite for the top yet.
Yeah, although the set range is not in.
Maybe that's private. We'll get to it for reflection. As we've done with so many other things.
Is it set float array, maybe? Maybe. All right. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that so much. The main one out of this, I think that's going to impact me on a lot of these effects, is going to be this tint color on material.
Yes, I can see it's using that.
Or some similar color property. Here's what I think we have to do. I think we have to start taking step one in the direction of things are getting weird, is what I think we have to do. So let's go back to our D&D app, and things are getting weird. And by the way, HoloFox, things are getting weird just now. Yeah, HoloFox says we have a mod manager to auto-distribute the BepNX mods. Yeah, I saw that you guys were talking about working on that. I'll tell you the one thing that I have, HoloFox, that I'd be totally willing to contribute. We just got to, it's not too hard, is this TaleSpire core. What I've done in here is I've created a, also, has there been Dragon Numbers lately? There have not. We've not done it lately. It's been like just everybody's had a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening. We're going to have a practice game, I think, on Wednesday, and then we're going to, I think, get back on it on Sunday, is what I think. Set range would be set float with the name of the property you're trying to set the range for. But isn't there a beginning and ending? I've been way too busy to even watch the stream. Uh-oh.
Need there.
We should invite Rory for the practice game. So HoloFox, yeah, so take a look at this. This is actually pretty cool. So basically TaleSpire.effects.get, and you specify an effect name. And then what else is of interesting in here? You can grab a visual, things like this. Get the list, the flashlight. I've got this cool class called flashlight. So TaleSpire.flashlight is off, is on, turn off, toggle, that sort of thing. Get position. Right, all of these pieces are in here, and this I think is useful for anybody doing mods of TaleSpire, this piece. I just have to, if this is going to be interesting to the group, we're going to have to separate that, put it out in its own piece, and then, build that up. Methinks me needs to get a copy of TaleSpire so I can help you struggle, says Ocular Malice. Yeah, you just want to watch me struggle. I know you, Ocular Malice. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to spot the material, find the material, and we want to do that inside our effect editor. I've got something in here having to do with properties, I think. Add properties to nodes. Okay, so we're adding the properties here. We're doing a get properties on it. I am going to say this is a separate thing. We're going to call add special properties is what I'm going to call this. And pass in nodes and type and parent instance, I think is what I'll do. I'll grab just the same properties I'm passing in here. Is the parent instance the same as this instance? Yeah, it is. It's this upper instance. That's the one. Okay, so we're going to create this. Then we're going to say if parent instance is material. If it's material, then we're going to say if material dot shader is not null. Then we're going to say, or I guess it's probably easier to say, is it a shader? And then give it the variable declaration right there. And then we're going to say shader dot get property count like this. And then we're going to do shader dot get property name of I, like that. And this is going to be one of these nodes. So we're going to say, and I think I almost want to say, let's really right now, the only useful one that I want to mess with is color. So I think I want to do this. If shader dot get property type of I equals dot color, then I want to add it. I want to add the node.
Be selective at first. That way we don't have to worry about any of the complexities of the others for now.
I'm going to create a special property node for this that's going to have the data I need in it. So we'll come in here, we'll create a class special property node that descends from a tree node. Or do I already have?
We have something. I think, didn't we allow it to have a disabled quality built on?
Game object node, property node. These are, I just want to see if I have a common ancestor, and I don't. Okay, so I don't have a common ancestor. Let's go back to where we were. I'm sorry, Roy. I was focused on that. What did you tell me again? What you just said? I think I missed it.
Just sort of commenting on your search for. I assumed you were looking for the node that we created that had a disabled capability on it.
Oh, okay.
For a common ancestor.
Got it. So. Yeah, that's what I was just looking for that. Okay, so we've got a special property node. There it is, right there. We need to give it a name. And we're going to say name is equal to that, maybe. And there are no subnodes out of that. Oculus has got to run and help other mortals. Hey, thanks, Gilamalis, for stopping by. Appreciate that. Good luck, and I'll catch you later with your hacking. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now we've got this. Maybe let's rename this. Let's rename this to shader color property node, or material color. Maybe material color property node. And so we'll set the name equal to that, and we'll set what else am I going to need? I'm going to need the shader No, I'm not. One, I'll need the material.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so let's add that. Halifax is just wondering, is this something I did recently? Have you done much networking for the modding? Not really. No, we just got it working across 2 machines, if that's what you're talking about. And it was...
I think the majority of what we're doing is essentially intended for broadcast rather than sort of live gaming. So at the moment, none of the things that we're injecting into TaleSpire actually go across the network to other instances that have joined. They just show up in Mark's own instance, which is the one that gets broadcast. Having said that, it's an interesting idea. Yeah, it's. I think as each player gets a certain level of control, obviously over their own character, it would be useful maybe at some stage for them to have an idea what was in their immediate surroundings by looking at their machine.
Yeah, well, part of the... So we really haven't looked at distribution on this at all, but all of our spell effects are as compiled assets that are out in like DLLs. So for everybody playing, they'd have to have those and load them up to be able to see them. And then we would have to communicate those effects to all of those other machines. And I have not looked into TaleSpire in terms of facilitating communication, like sending custom messages and then listening to them. I don't think TaleSpire has that yet, but that would be necessary to make this all go smoothly. Right now, because like Rory says, it's just in a, it's just in a broadcast. There's only one instance of TaleSpire that has to have the effects because it's a broadcast, and the other players don't have to have those effects. So I recently tapped into Photon to get my mods working, networking. If you want to peek, though you're probably able to rewrite it something much nicer. Photon, you're talking about what Photon that's built into TaleSpire. Is that right, Holofox? Or is that something standalone? Because I have seen references to Photon. What'd you say?
PhotonEngine.com, Photon Unity 3D networking framework, SDKs, and game something.
Yeah, Holofox says it's built in
external TaleSpire, but in Unity.
Okay, yeah, I've not looked at that, not learned that yet, and I'm not really that guy, not that expert at all. That's the space where I struggle for days trying to, realize that it's my firewall that's been stopping me the whole time. So I'm going to save the material because I need the material to make the change. Let's go, look, what else did we need? We just needed to set color there. That's all we needed. Okay, so that's good. Now let's go back. So we got a special property. And
Mark doesn't know Jack.
Coding Grill is out there.
Holofox points out that Photon is whilst it's a third-party, I think, Unity framework, it is the one that TaleSpire are using, and hence it is available to plugins to use.
Okay.
So less of an issue. Also, apparently won't block your firewall. So they've already figured out the communication side of it, as would make sense, between instances of TaleSpire. So presumably there's some kind of a bus or something we could get our messages onto, which would then appear at the other end. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Coding Gorilla, sorry, couldn't resist. Coding Gorilla, did you come in sneaky? I'm trying to figure out why we don't see your fanfare.
He came in and did a no jack.
I saw that.
Possibly that.
Sent you a link to my plugin if you want to re-engineer it, Holofox says. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, that's what I need, more work. Just what I need for personal use. Well, thanks, Holofox. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, so we've added some special properties. So at this point, if we just rebuild, we should see it. I think I'm just kind of inclined to do that as a test. So let's shut down TaleSpire. Fastest way for me to shut down TaleSpire is to shut down the BepInEx log, like that. Let's rebuild over here. And so now what we're expecting to see, if we get this right, is we're expecting to see a new node. That one's okay because it just can't find the other desktop machine. We're expecting to see a new node there under material that's going to say tint color for this heal property effect. All right, let's start it up. While that starts up, come back over here, we'll stop this. All right, that was good news that happened. I think this is going to be like the key to unlocking a lot of the mods on these spell effects, Rory. I think this is the theme. This is the theme. No Jack blocks it, says Coding Gorilla. Oh, because it came up, right? Coding Gorilla came up. And I got it. I totally get what he's saying. And he changed the new, he changed it as soon as it came up. That's why we didn't see it. All right. It's a little longer to load because it's loading up all these assets. By the way, I thought of a really cool thing to put these in another place and just add checkboxes next to them so I can load them individually if I want.
Okay.
So edit prefab, add prefab. We're going to go find, what is it? R3 heal, that one. And now we're going to try to work our way in here. Here, particle system renderer, I think. Yeah, the definitely need to sort these. Sorting, I think, is going to be my next thing. Looking for material. I think it's down near the end.
There it
There
is.
it is. Material. So
Colour.
material.
Mind you, we want tint color, don't we? Blank. That looks suspiciously like it wasn't there before. Maybe we're just not putting the name there in the correct way.
Yeah, I am feeling the same thing. It's interesting, though. I can't click on it either, though. Wait, there it is, right there. When I click on it, nothing changes because it's a different kind of thing. That's super interesting. Why did the name property not come across? I don't get that. It doesn't have a color property. Color. Okay, so here, this is coming from another bit of code. So what's really interesting is its property name was color, not tint color. Got a not responding. Why is that? Fine. What's the last thing here? Setting property value. For what, though? We don't know. Oh, wait. It's not. It's locked up because I've got this. I've got it. I had a selection over here. That's why it was locked up. Okay.
We maybe set the wrong property. The tree node has a text property as well as a name property. And I suspect that the text is what's shown on the screen.
All right. So let's close this down. Try that. And let's do the same thing. Text. We're still going to get an error when we click on it. Maybe change this to name. Can I do that? Is it going to get the name from the right spot? What's tab to next reference say? I think it is. Well, hold on. Nah, I can't tell for sure these are the same or not. All right, fine. Let's just do this. Do that there. Do that there. Okay, cool. Rebuild. Okay, play. How you doing, Coding Gorilla? All right. Edit prefab. Add prefab. R3 heal. Good. Let's go drill in to there. Particle system renderer. Material. Remind me, Rory, I gotta
Yeah, change the source order would be good, wouldn't it? There we go. Tint color.
Okay. And now we should see.
Success.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So that's a decent level of success. That's proof that we've navigated some of that.
This interesting here is material with shader alpha blended doesn't have a color property. Color. I don't understand that color, where that's coming from yet. Well, that's coming from Unity. I think that might be coming from Unity. But I'm not quite sure. I'd love a call stack around that line. That would be nice. Cody Gorilla says, hanging in there, trying to keep up with all the news coming in out of build, but for the first time in years, I don't really care. I just don't really care. Yeah, I was like, should I do a show today or not? I don't want to, take anything away from build, so. But I was like, well, let's go review the important information. And I did a little bit of that, which is what features are they adding to Visual Studio that we're going to have to stop shipping in CodeRush. And there were two. One that's near and dear to my heart, which is like a great feature, which is Camel Case Snap. We'll see. We'll take a look at how well they do it, and if they've nailed it, then we'll remove it from CodeRush. I'm not sure where that is. Is it in the open of this? I'm seeing just a dialogue on the other. Okay. I think we should try to sort nodes. See if we can fix sorting real quickly here.
Anything we can do to make our own lives easier is pretty useful.
So at this point, we've added a bunch of nodes that are not in alphabetical order. So now I want to sort them. Sort. Like that. I don't know how to do this. What is it? I want to do like an order by. It's a tree node collection. Do I have a sort option?
See, I think the tree node collection is you've already, to some extent, added it to the tree. So I wonder if it isn't more apt to sort the sort of a collection of object name and type, sort that, and then iterate through that, making a decision to add it as a property, a field, what have you, going that way.
So something like this, maybe? Because I need more data than just like 2 pieces here. Can I create a new instance of it? What do you need?
I mean, excuse me. You could have a list of node.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Right? Like that.
Yeah, and add them to the list.
Okay, let's do that. So let's go into add properties. That's going to now take this. Is that going to change any code inside? Looks like an absolute no to that. That's great news. And so we're going to pass in new nodes there. Go into add fields. Do the same thing. Totally good there too as well. And pass in new nodes there. Go to add components. Totally good. Pass in new nodes there. And add special properties. Should be good there. Everything's good. And then new nodes. Like that. Then we're going to, here at this point, we can do new nodes.order by text.
Yep.
Like that. To list, probably. And then can we add them now?
Now the to list will need to be assigned back to new nodes.
Yeah, well, I was kind of going to do this, I think is what I was thinking about. like that.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is going to fix it. All right, let's see. Is there another thing we want to do? Oh, I want to look at our code that responds to clicking, because it fills this up. Isn't that creating a duplicate list? Yep. Nodes. Good catch. It just wants an array. Good catch, Coding Gorilla.
Nice.
Is it a blue fly next to you? That guy over there?
That's Fred.
How you doing, Fred? It's wild, Fred. Fred says he's good. Right?
Not a fly himself, but possibly interested in them.
Rupert 2000's following. Hey, Rupert 2000, welcome. Okay, we don't need sort nodes here anymore. Good catch on that, Coding Gorilla. Gaudutis. I'm sure I've destroyed your moniker. Tell me how to pronounce that. Gaudutis. Usually I get them. I don't think I did that very well right there. Admonish me. Good to see you out there. Welcome. Okay, so add property. We're just building right now. Let's close this down. We'll get the sorting in. Okay, that error is okay. And let's restart. Oh, the other piece I wanted to work on, we can look at it while it's starting up, is I wanted to work on what happens when we click on one of these elements.
Yes. For other elements, we produce an editor which then shows and allows you to edit the value that it represents. So because these are not strictly properties or fields, we're going to have to do something slightly different in those cases.
Yeah. There's another thing we might do too, is we've got draw node here. We might come in here and say, hey, if it's not a tree node, but if it is a material color property node, like that, then it's a weird name. Why do I call it font brush? We're going to say font brush is equal to brushes dot, I got a dark red, like that. I kind of want to do that. So you'll see it. And I almost want to just, since we've just started up, let's shut down again and let's rebuild with this right here. I guess I don't need that right there. So we're just going to change, I'm sorry, not, I want it like that. If sender is material color property node, we're going to make those dark red so we can know that those are special properties. All right, rebuild. Okay, that error is okay. Just means my other machine's not turned on.
It really does make me feel like, we hit some serious next level stuff when the code we run requires us to run Steam. It's like honor right there.
Gauduti says, no problem, it's French. So I'm going to say Gauduti, like that. Gauduti, am I close? Did I get it?
See, I always wonder because the accent, it does definitely lend something to any pronunciation, doesn't it? So I was thinking it's either Gao or Go.
Yeah, French is, yeah, oh, go. Oh, you're right. It could be Gauduti. Gao. I want to say Gao, but I could be wrong. All right. All right, starting up. All right, edit prefab. Add prefab, R3 heal, heal, here we go. I'm looking to see sorted property names. Sweet, much easier to find it now. tint color is not in red. Interesting.
Okay.
Why not red? Did I do something? Oh, you know what? I bet there's code afterwards that changes the brush font back. Is it? No. Oh, here's my problem. Gotta be really careful when I write, you know what I mean? When I write code. All right, so now we want to look back at what happens when we click on it. So let's go look at that. Let's go to the effect editor there, after select. Okay.
Okay, Mark. Well, unfortunately, whilst you look at that, I'm going to have to take my leave.
I don't want to hear,
Wait.
Rory, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I just want, you're fired for today. You'll have a second chance tomorrow. Get out. Don't. Rory's awesome, kids. Thanks, Rory, for hanging out. You've been the best, as usual.
My friend, no trouble at all.
Thanks, everybody else. You got to save me. All right. See you, Rory. You got to save me, everybody else. Got to save me without Rory's eyes watching the code. Okay, so here we're checking to see, hey, if it's a property node, but it's not. It's not. It is this other special thing now. If it is a material color property node. That. Well, in this case, we know the type is flat out. It is color. Like that. This text is going to be what's happening here? Are you seriously not using it? Interesting. Replace that. Here, this is where you want to grab the material property node dot. I guess it is its name. Yeah, it's going to be its name. Okay. And or text here, I see. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go with that. And then show value editor. This doesn't need to be this. This could just be e.node.text. Like that. Show value editor. Does that need a property node? It does. So I'm going to pop this here, and then we just need something similar down here. Show special editor, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. No, not what I wanted to do. Okay. So I need to basically get a value editor here based on that type. The value editor is right now expecting a set value here. Yeah, we need something similar here. The question is, what is the type going to be of this? All right, so show value editor, we want to come back to this. Before we do this, we need to create something, essentially an effects editor, a value editor. Right now we've got a min-max gradient piece. I think I'm going to copy this and paste it in, and then we're going to call this color. That's what this is going to be. So it's going to edit a single color. And we don't need all these. And I think we just need a button for now. We'll make it really simple. Like that. Button set color. Oh no. Did I seriously modify the wrong file? Horrible. That undo is all there for me. All right, this one I think is good. It's edit color is what I needed to mess with. All right, that fix it. Okay, it looks like those errors have gone away. Is this one still in here with us? In the beginning, it looks like it's fixed. Okay, it just took a while for it to go away. All right, cool. Back out over. Let's go to the designer on this. Let's make the changes we want here. And I might add like HSL, hue saturation light fields here in a bit. Okay. All right, let's simplify all of this. So we've got a color, something changed. we call value changed. And we're passing in the new value. Set value. This is going to be now if this is not equal to a color. New color. Like that. This one's Unity Engine. Now, I already have these two in two different places. These need to move. All right, let's go find them in the other one. These two right here. Okay, good. Let's take both of these. Put them in there. Put that in core. Okay. What's wrong here? All right. So good. Color utils is fixed there. We need to fix it over here. Okay, so we need to register this as a color editor. Okay, and we need to jump back to where we were before. Show special editor. So we'll get the color value editor. All right. this point, we don't need to worry about whether we're a field or a property. We just need to call set value on it, and we need to get the right value. To get the value, we need to come in and say, what is it? Material.get color, passing in the node's name, which I think is the same as its text. And that's what we call the set value. No, yeah. That's the value editor. Okay, good. Now, here we go. We need some alternate piece here that's going to say else if the selected node is a material color property node. Then we're going to need to come in and say property node dot material dot set value, set color, and the name is going to be the node's name, and the value is going to be ea.value. Which I'm pretty sure is just an object. So we're going to say as Unity Engine.color. Cast it another way. All right. And I got a catch right here that's going to show in a message if we have any kind of trouble with it. Let's rebuild. Still running. Okay, let's try it. Value editor for this type, min-max radiant, is already registered. What'd I do wrong? That doesn't look or feel good to me at all. What's happening with edit color? I feel like this and this are somehow colliding, but I don't understand why. They're not related to each other other than they both descend from user control. Let's go back and look at that. Contains key. Get value type. Ah, that's my problem. That's my problem. Okay. Only you can help me find bugs like that, people. All right, got the build done. Started up. It's gonna work, Fred. It says do it. All right, load it up, edit prefab, add prefab. R3 heal. That's the guy we want to change. Going into the renderer, finding the material. There's tint color. Sweet, and it's green. That's like the best news ever. Can we actually change it? That's like the killer. That's going to be the killer test right here. So we can change the color of these pluses to a different color. Won't that be cool? Okay, that was awesome. That was awesome. All right, kids, I'm going to call that a show. That's super cool. Found our way through that. Really nice. So now we have custom plus colors coming in there. Looks like we're having way better control over the color of the items that are out there. And tomorrow's show we'll work on scripting this, turning these changes into text that we can then store and then shoot out later when it's time to cast a spell. That's what we want to do. Pretty cool. 2 hours to change the color of something. Cody Gorilla? We don't need that kind of talk out here. All right, let's do let's get a raid going. See who we're going to send you over to. Bald Bearded Builder. Starting soon. I'll send you over to my buddy Bald Bearded Builder. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out. 2 hours to change the color of something. Don't give me any flack there, Mr. Coding Gorilla. It's going to turn out into like very little time to change the color of something. I'm super happy. All right, kids, talk to you later. We'll see you tomorrow. Sending you over to Triple B. 4 seconds to go. See you tomorrow, kids. Thanks so much.